Well, how are you today, Amy?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Let's kind of do a recap of your first session. You had said that you weren't sleeping well, and you're constantly aware of things being disorganized, things that need to be done, they're out of place. You said you had a hard time functioning normally, and that you feel like you must clean immaculately. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Just some things that go on that is bothering you?
Well, I guess it's kind of stressful on my family because I, I have everything organized and, everything's in this certain place. And so sometimes it's like, they're just living life and they don't have the same issues I do and they don't have to have everything, just exactly the way it was. And so it's like an anxiety, almost anger sort of thing,
Okay.
where it just kind of like things get left out of place, even if it's slightly out of place, and I just have to fix it before I can even calm down.
Okay.
It's just, and then like I make obsessive lists where I list everything out that I have to do, and if I don't do it in just this certain order, it's like I can't um, function. I guess I can't. I get nervous and like shaky and just it's crazy.
Okay. So you kind of feel like your life just isn't going on like everyone else's is. Like you're not living through each day like your other family and friends are. Like kind of life's on hold because you have all these things that you got to do and you feel they have to be done. And it's just you feel like life is just being thrown at you maybe. Like everything's just out of order and like you just can't handle all
Yeah.
this stuff. Okay. Do you think that you could describe a situation um, that might happen or has happened when you just feel completely like everything's out of your control and you just don't know how you're going to keep it all perfect as you like everything to be?
Well, it usually happens whenever I have to be by myself with all of the kids at the house. Like I said, I have a 2-month-old, and so he can be pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two, and so just on any typical afternoon, they're making messes and asking for this or that, and I have to cook and all of that, and things aren't clean, and they're children, so they just mess everything up in their wake.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, like there was one day that it like my husband, he had to be gone. He had just left out of town to go on a business trip,
Okay.
and it was just so overwhelming that I just kind of shut down. I just kind of like sat down and just didn't talk to anyone and didn't close my eyes, and because I was like physically shaking, like I was breathing, kind of rapidly, and I was shaking, and it was just a lot. And I felt like it was like a physical reaction
Mm-hmm.
to just all of the stuff that was going on around me.
Yeah, things can become pretty chaotic with a few kids, and especially when one of them is, 2 months old, like you said. With your husband being gone and you're having to handle it all by yourself, I can understand that can be pretty overwhelming. Um, Do you feel like before you go to bed at night, that you have to have every part of the house cleaned up and nothing left messy or just left out, not put where it's supposed to go?
Yeah, otherwise I can't sleep, and I already, don't sleep well.
Okay.
And my poor kids, if their rooms aren't clean, I can't sleep because I am up thinking about it all night, regardless of whether the kitchen and common, areas are clean. I'm up thinking about it,
Does it seem like you finally get something or a part of the house picked up, and then next thing you turn around and another part of your house is just undone and a disaster again?
Yes.
You just can't keep up with it, it seems
Yes.
like. Okay. Alright, well, we want to try to set some goals. So, what's the main thing that you want to focus on, that you want to try to overcome throughout these sessions?
I guess, I know that it may be kind of a longer road to completely be rid of, that sort of need, I guess. But I guess just a better way to handle it,
Okay.
Even when it comes, just a better way to handle it, better way to react, a better way to,
Okay.
And maybe even that I quit having physical reactions.
Okay. Are there ever times that you have a friend or a family member just take even one of your kids or, the two oldest ones just for a little while so that you're not so overwhelmed throughout the day? Or do you have them?
Well, like I said, I work
Mhm.
most of the time, and even there at work, it's the same thing. Obviously, I work in surgery, and so things are kept neat and tidy because it has to be. It has to be sterile. It has to be neat, and
So-
that's just kind of how that works. And so it's a little less when I'm there, though. The people that work with me, they just know that how much it's. I guess you could say it's important to me, but at the same time, like, it's not exactly something I enjoy, but I just can't function if it's not clean,
Okay.
But when I am by myself at the house, it's not like super often, but usually that's when it's worse.
So work is kind of would you say kind of a safe haven?
Not necessarily. But it's much better.
It's much better at work.
The reaction is much better. It's I can usually function pretty well. Yeah.
Okay. And you said your husband is home during the day with your kids.
Yeah. Well, usually, like I said, he works from home. He does art and design, so that gives him a lot of chances to work from home.
Okay. Does he make the effort to kind of keep things picked up during the day with the kids, or does he have a routine that he does?
He tries, but and then even sometimes when he does try, it's like I see something that maybe isn't quite the way I would have done it, and I have to go behind him and pick it up or fix it.
Okay.
And so it really does put a strain.
Okay. So you just want to get to where you can handle everything better, to where maybe it's not as like keeping you up at night if something in the house is not in its place, or if some toys were left out, or maybe if there's even a couple dishes in the sink. We can hopefully get to that point where you'll be able to maintain how this makes you feel and just obsessing with things having to be neat and tidy all the time, because life just isn't always neat and tidy. When you have kids, things are going to be messy and you're going to be wore out. You're a mom who works all the time and you're not Superwoman. So, well, one of the things that I think that you could do, you and your husband could work on this together, is maybe try to set up a routine where you said you have to clean up at night and it keeps you up. Well, whenever you're doing your cleaning at night, maybe instead of trying to get the entire house clean, maybe focus on different parts of the house on different nights. Say Monday or Tuesday night, you focus on the living room and one of the kids' bedrooms, or the playroom if you have one of those. And then the next couple of nights, your focus is on the kitchen and the dining room. And then the next night could be you and your husband's room, and just try to work on each night of the week focusing on a different part of the house, and see if that helps you to be able to keep things maintained and neater. It's just going to have to be a work in progress. Do you think that's something that you could maybe try? It'll probably be hard at first, but it might be something that could really help you.
That's a good suggestion. I could definitely try.
Mm-hmm. What are some things that you, aside from that, is there any goals that you would like to accomplish in order to reach the overall goal of this issue, and in order to be able to better handle it? Is there anything that you can strive for?
Well, I guess the end goal would probably be, well, I know that the chances that I'm not going to be aware of these things anymore is very slim.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe at the end, just not feeling compelled that I personally have to fix everything, and that I personally have to have everything in control.
Okay.
Even if, I'm still very aware of the chaos that's around me.
All right.
So just in the end, being able to say, not have to straighten whatever it is that's in somebody else's office.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I am aware that, hey, that's, messy, or hey, that's out of place. Maybe not feeling like I can't concentrate.
Okay. You can't be responsible for every single person's all of their things. Like you said, your coworkers, if you feel the need to straighten up their office, we're going to have people around us that don't care what their office looks like, or they may not care that you'll come by and clean up after them. That might be actually something that they might think it's funny, or they might be like, well, I don't have to worry about this because she will. And hopefully you can get to the point where you won't feel the need to do that, and maybe other people will, those people that feel like you're there to be their mom, will become better about how they take care of their things and keep their office and stuff. Because you can't be everybody's mom. And sometimes we feel the need to do that. We feel the need to take care of everyone around us. Is there any other goals that you think that you could strive towards?
Well, I think that if I'm able to do this better, then it will help my relationships, just because I won't feel like I have to control everyone else's lives in that way, I guess.
Okay.
And so that would definitely be an end goal, is to just kind of helping mend those relationships through, just how much it has already hindered me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that can definitely be accomplished. I can see that there are probably some relationships that are suffering because of what's going on. Whenever you're not feeling like you're having a normal life. There can be people that have been pushed out or have just stepped out to let you do things the way that you do when they don't care for things to be done like that. So, hopefully we can just get to where you're not as stressed out about all this stuff. And if there's not as much strain on your relationships. So how are things between you and your husband? Do they tend to be?
Well, he tries to be understanding, and I think that is the only reason that I owe the success so far. But I know that at some point it's just going to become just a little too much for him.
And that's probably not something you want to happen.
No.
So, well, hopefully along with this, it can get to a point where you and your husband are not having issues to where he's not shutting you out at times, probably when you really get overwhelmed. And if y'all are working together with this, it can probably get to where y'all have a closer relationship than you did before. And things will probably seem easier with the kids and him being at home. And so. All right, well, if you want to just work on trying to take things just little at a time and not completely overwhelming yourself and putting everything so high on your plate. Just try to work on a different part of the house at a time, and you think you can do that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it next session and see how it went.
Thank you.